Hello and welcome to my sewing room on a super smoking hot Monday in Calgary. We are doing the heat warning thing down here, and that means it's time to go inside and sew. That's how I'm going to spend my evening instead of being outside melting. I have some fun things to show you guys today, and I titled today's video Leah's favorite thread. Just for a small little reason, like thread is on sale right now. So starting today, August 20th, I'm so confused this week, August 14th, and running until the 20th, August 20th. All of our thread is 30% off, which, let me tell you, is a great time to buy thread. And as we get going, today I am going to talk about one of the upcoming classes as well, so you guys can appropriately sign up for the class and get your supplies. We have a Thailand class scheduled, and we're going to run it over a couple weeks. So there's kind of a starting class, a check-in class, and a finishing class. And those will be starting at the end of September. I'm just going to find the actual date because apparently that is not stuck in my head whatsoever. I know what date it's happening if I'm looking at a calendar. I don't even know what day today is, so this is proving to be a challenge. Let me see. I killed the website. We're going to look the other way. Dates for the Thailand class. September 26th and October 10th, and it should be the 24th as our third day there. So 3 classes will get you started. None of the classes are super long, but you're going to be welcome to stay and embroider in class if that's what you would like to do in our classroom. So our Thailand scene class, OESD, makes some phenomenal Thailand scenes. I can safely say they're one of my very favorite things to make, partly because I just get to push a button and then walk away with my multi-needle, but we'll talk about that in that class as well. And OESD makes thread kits for their Thailand scenes, which is the easiest way to make sure you have all the right colors to get their fantastic artwork to come out as intended. So just so you know, thread kits count as thread during thread on sale week. So in stock only, but we do have Oh Christmas Tree, which is one of the kind of looser, lighter stitching ones. And Peace on Earth. And I know we've got Merry and Bright out front. And then one of my very favorite ones that I've made 2 of them because it was so much fun, Winter Visitors. And we've got Oh Holy Night in stock, and there was a couple Everett's Cottage Thailand scene kits that came in last week. So the Isacord is fabulous, and even if you have most of the colors already, the thread is on sale this week, so you can come and pick and choose those extra few colors that you might need to carry on and join me for that class. You can pick whichever Thailand scene you want for the Thailand scene class, which I think is great. But let's carry on and talk about other threads that I like. I love Isacord. I do tons with it. I embroider with it and I quilt with it. But it's not the only thread that I use regularly. So we're going to talk about some of the other threads that I adore, and I have a very large selection of because they crack me up. That's essentially where we're going. So next up on the list of thread that I use very, very, very consistently, we carry Presentia 100% cotton thread. And Presentia comes in 2 weights of thread. It comes in 50 weight, which is on gray spools. And it comes in 60 weight, which is usually on pink spools. And the 60 weight is a little bit thinner, and that is my go-to piecing thread for when I make quilts. And both are lots of fun. There's some really lovely colors in both lineups, and always a good thread. I know lots of people had that in their little baskets today. Sometimes you can't quite get the colors you want in Presentia if you're trying to match something really accurately, and it's not the only cotton thread we have in store. So the other one we carry is Confetti from Wonderful, and Confetti is also a 50 weight, and most people recognize Confetti on the little spools. But did you know confetti comes in the bigger cones too? So if there's a color that you adore working with confetti, or you know you want to quilt a big quilt with it on your long arm, and you want to use the cotton thread that match the thread you pieced with, perhaps, confetti might be the way to go in one of those sizes of spools. And if you need to run those bigger spools on your regular home sewing machine, there's metal thread stands that you can get for behind your machine. Or some of your machines have add-on thread stands that would allow you to run those big cones really easily. But confetti, great option for your cotton threads. Let's stick with cotton threads for a minute. Other threads that are really fun. I have a soft spot for really fat thread. So we've got some 12 weight thread, and this one is called spaghetti. So it's much thicker than your 50 weight cotton. And we've also got Tootie, which is also a 50 weight. Oh no, Tootie is a 50 weight. So Tootie is the variegated version of confetti. Chelsea picked me Leah colors. Some of these other threads from Wonderful will get you things like variegated or a much thicker thread, depending what kind of look you're going for. If you're joining us for the Tabitha Tote Serger class this week, we're going to play with confetti, so a 12 weight cotton thread in our sergers this week, which I'm so excited about. We used it last week with our guest instructor, Deborah Louie. So people don't always think about adding way thicker thread into their projects to give them more character, but it's definitely something you should maybe experiment with. So confetti, not confetti, spaghetti. They all sound so silly. Let's go back to polyester threads, embroidery thread specifically. There's glow in the dark thread in the store, and there's also a thread called Flash. They're both lots of fun to play with. There's definitely some things out there that call for glow in the dark thread in the digitizing. So keeping a spool on hand is always lots of fun. And there's variegated isocords as well, if you want more of a variegated look, say you're quilting with it. Let's carry on. I have a couple more spools of thread here. I do a fair bit of garment sewing for me and my kids. So I flip between two different threads for garment sewing, and it depends where I can get the color match that I want. But we have Wonderful Designer, which comes in a very wide array of colors, and Metler Metro Seam, which also comes in a very wide array of colors, but they're different. So I switch back and forth between these two threads all the time, and they're both lovely. So the Metler, usually these are 200-meter spools, and these are 1,000-meter spools. So also depends if you're going into high production mode, the 1,000-meter spool might last you a little bit longer. But you know, sometimes you just need a little bit to finish up top stitching on a project, and then the Metler would be good. So polyester thread for that. And then one of my absolute favorite threads for not machine sewing. You can definitely use Deco Bob in your machines, and it is available on pre-wound bobbins. If you take L class bobbins or M class bobbins or class 15 bobbins, there's pre-wounds available with Deco Bob. But Deco Bob is a polyester bobbin thread, so it's super thin. So I know I talked about the very thick thread that's out there. Deco Bob runs on the very thin side. It's not the thinnest we carry. That would be Invisifil. But Deco Bob is scrumptious for hand. So I do English paper piecing when I road trip. Otherwise, I'm a terrible passenger and I snore in the front seat of the truck. So I hand sew to stay awake. So my husband stays awake too while he drives. But Deco Bob is usually what I go for. And the pre-wound bobbins, there's a little thing called a bobbin. There's a bobbin holder where you can drop a couple pre-wounds in it. And they don't roll all over your sewing kit and make a mess. But I do enough that I actually just buy big spools. So Deco Bob is also on my list of favorite threads. Overall, you can't go wrong. All the threads we carry are super high quality, and they're going to be fairly lint-free. We've got some nice thread. If you ever have issues with any thread you get from us, definitely reach out, and we'll help you match up a needle size to be more appropriate, because sometimes we just don't have a big enough needle to make the thread we want to use work. And sometimes you just need to flip it around on the spool pin, or change spool caps, and all your problems will mostly go away. So threads on sale this week. Those are some of my favorites. Really all the thread. I love thread. It's fabulous. Fabric in behind me is, speaking of road trip sewing, is a line called Road Trippin. It is hilarious. The panel in it is to die for, if I roll the right direction. Let's take a road trip. My favorite little bit in there. Get this lifted up. Maybe. So the consensus in store. Came in. We've got a wheel problem here. So funny. Did you say road trip? I'll pack a bag. So cute. So cute. So that's some of what's going on this week. Like I said, we have a tiling scene class coming up, so if you're wanting to be a part of that, I would pop in this week and get your thread for the tiling scene you want to do. And then next week, OESD designs are going to be discounted very heavily. So you might want to pop in next week to get the design that you're looking for. That's what we have for you right now. I hope you have a lovely day. Stay cool. If you're in the Calgary area, don't melt out there. And we'll see you guys another day. Take care.